Good morning, Knicks Nation. I wanted to do a quick emergency podcast. Good morning to the Knicks Nation. Good morning to all of you who came out this morning. Ted, Mendez, Mina, Wilton, Mina, all of you that came out 2189 Fast, Eddie from New Jersey. Thank you for coming out today. Listen, okay, I've been telling y'all he's the Don, right? I've been telling y'all he's the Don. We talked about how the media was trying to portray that the Knicks were desperate. We talked about how they were trying to act like Ainge was in control. Ainge had all the cards. We talked about not listening to false reports, right? And even I fell victim to it because I listened to Mark Stein. Not saying, and again, Mark Stein is not one of the three wise men. He's not like some others, but I should have just waited for Bagley, Woj, and Shams. Now, I told y'all last Sunday, we talked about this last Sunday. Last Sunday, I said to y'all, in fact, the title of the video was Ainge has nada, bupkis, nothing. What do I mean by that? You're playing cards and you got your hand and your opponent has their hand. Opponents, especially those that have been winning a lot, they sometimes win by bluffing. They sometimes win, especially when they've been winning a lot. They win by bluffing. Okay. And so Ainge was bluffing. And how do we know he was bluffing? Well, first of all, you look at the scenario. What's the scenario? The Knicks have all of their picks. The Don arranged this thing so we have all of our picks. We have young assets. But they hired Walt Perrin from Utah because he knows talent and they drafted well, right? And I was telling y'all, don't sleep on RJ Barrett. He's the second coming of Jimmy Butler. He's going to be a better version of Jimmy Butler. He's been progressing each season. He was the number 3 overall pick, and he wears the heaviest uniform in the world. There is no basketball team on earth whose uniform is heavier than the New York Knicks. There is none. He wears the heaviest uniform on earth, and he wears it, though he was only just turned 22. He wears it like a grown man. And wait a minute. Y'all understand this here. Look at. Was not the media making a big deal over whether RJ was worthy of 185 million? Did they not have everybody talking as if this was some sort of issue? Do y'all remember that? Is RJ worth 185? RJ ain't worth 185. No, he ain't worth 1. And I told y'all that's not even an issue for us to be wasting our time on. It's not even an issue for us to be wasting our time on. Bill Duffy, RJ's agent, is one of the most powerful agents in basketball. They know what RJ's value was. And I told y'all, I said, look for something around what Randall got. Didn't I say that? I said, look for a number that's around what Randall got. And that's what he got. Okay. And look here. It's an incentive-laden contract. Probably the basis, if you look at the base of the contract, if we were to say, I would guess it would probably be around a 110, 105. But he has to make 3 All-Star appearances and 3 All-NBA to get 120. And that's hard for anybody to do. Okay, it's hard for anybody to do. So what this does is a couple of things. Number one, it shows the commitment to the new culture. Don't get it twisted, Knicks Nation. That's the first thing we need to understand. You want a departure from the past? You want to become a long-term sustainable winner? The first thing you need is competent management. And after you get the competent management, you proceed to try to develop a long-term sustainable winner. Part of doing that is you commit to young assets that you take the time to draft. R.J. Barrett is such a one. You commit to a Mitchell Robinson, who you got as a steal in the second round. Mitchell Robinson was a steal. Got him at 36, and he really was a top 10 talent. And so you commit to these people. You don't throw them around and like the past regimes, and some of y'all still in that crackhead mentality. Let's trade this one and go get that one. No, you develop long term. You commit to the guys. You put the assets in. You put the Walt Perrins on, the draft junkies on that you went out and you scouted and you talked to. You commit to these guys. You never mind looking over the shoulder. What's the next guy you're going to trade? So I thought that the Charlie Ward curse was actually broken with Mitch Rob, because we hadn't even signed anybody that we drafted since Charlie Ward. We signed them. But if you want to go first round lottery picks, yeah, it was Charlie Ward, and now it's R.J. Barrett. They broke the curse. So the first thing to me that we need to really understand in Knicks Nation is that this is a commitment to long-term building. That's right, building the right way. Long-term sustainable winning, not quick fixes. This is a commitment to build an organization from the ground up with the front office. That's number one. Number two, Leon Rose has now, to me, if I got to still convince you that he's the Don, I don't know what to tell you. I can't talk to you. If you don't understand what this man has been doing over the last 2 years since he took over the Knicks, if you can't look back over the landscape and see how he's manipulated to get second round picks, turn them into late first round picks, trading down to get additional picks, if you don't understand that, I can't help you. How he put together the team of Brock Allen and Walt Perrin, and how he kept Scott Perry on board, I can't help you. How he brought Kenny Payne on and Mike Woodson. Come on now. Give this man respect on his name. He's the Don, Corleone, baby. Okay, so you got to understand what you got. Quit looking at what everybody's telling you. Quit being dysfunctional like a battered wife syndrome, and understand you got a competent management. Period. You got a competent management. Okay. So now, Frankie didn't get re-signed, Davis. No, he didn't get re-signed. No, he didn't get re-signed. They let him go in his fourth season. They didn't even offer him the qualifying offer. Frank was gone. So no, the curse was broken by Mitchell Robinson. What the curse was that you could not re-sign a guy you drafted. You drafted a guy and he only lasted the one contract. That's the curse. Charlie Ward was drafted by the Knicks out of Florida State after winning the Heisman Trophy, and he signed a second contract with the Knicks. Nobody else that they drafted had ever done that, which is a sign of a horrible organization. How are you going to draft players and you can't even re-sign them? So now they drafted Mitchell Robinson. I told y'all Mitch Rob was a steal and that he's the anchor of the defense. Some of y'all still need to trade Mitchell Robinson. He ain't worth that money. He ain't worth. They had people on big platforms talking about he ain't worth $15 million. I'm like, are you crazy? No. And then I'm telling you, R.J. Barrett is the second coming. He's a better version of Jimmy Butler. He's coming. He's coming. And they know it. They understand it. Catch up, y'all. Catch up. So today, Jay Sniper, we said the Charlie Ward curse because it was since Charlie Ward. I'm not talking about every player in history they re-signed, sir. Come on, catch up with me. Catch up with me. Ewing was drafted in freaking 1985. We're talking about Charlie Ward. Catch up with me. Come on, baby. Catch up. So now look. All of this stuff about Ainge wanting RJ, and I told y'all RJ was off the table. Listen here. It was just 2 weeks ago we was talking about this. I told y'all opening night, there's 5 players guaranteed to be on the Knicks opening night. I told you. I said it was Mitchell Robinson, because they just re-signed him. Jalen Brunson, because they just signed him. Jericho Sims, because they just signed him. Isaiah Hartenstein, because they just signed him. And then RJ Barrett, because he's off the table. 5. That's going to be the opening night. Okay? So with all of this Ainge was putting out there about wanting RJ, 2 things dropped in the last 24 hours. Number one, the Don said, and you got to look at Wojnarowski's report. Wojnarowski put it out there. The Don said, if we don't get a deal done by next Monday, see, I told y'all, watch Labor Day weekend. Did I not tell you that 2 weeks ago? I said, watch Labor Day weekend. Watch Labor Day weekend. Marlon Davis, thank you for the $20 super chat this early in the morning. I appreciate that, brother. But watch Labor Day weekend. And Woj just put it out last night that the Don told Ainge, if you don't get a deal done by Monday, we walking. Look, some of y'all like me that really didn't want this deal to go down. Like, you got to put respect on that man's name. He ain't waiting for Donovan Mitchell to say, I need y'all to trade me. He is telling Ainge, if we don't get a deal done by Monday, we walking. Yo, you got to like that, y'all. You got to like that, man. You got to like that. If we don't get a deal done by Monday, it was in Woj, man. Woj said it. If we don't get a deal done by Monday, we walking. Then he turns around and he has Duffy leak. We putting RJ on a $120 million deal. I told you he was off the table. We could stop leaking information about him now. Look at this, y'all. Look at this. The Don saying, you made a move? Check. You made a move on the chessboard? Check. You made a move? Checkmate. I told y'all this man was something else. I told you. So the $120 million that he signs RJ for takes RJ off the table. Takes him off the table. He's done now. He's not. We can forget RJ going to Utah. That's over. Okay, that's over. Okay, now he already knows. The Don already knows. Ainge can't get no more than 2 first-round picks from anybody. The Knicks are the only team willing and able to give him 3. The only team willing and able to give him 3. He can't get 2 from more than 2 from nobody else. And even those that can offer 2 can't offer much more than that. Okay, can't offer much more than that. So now, it's either going to be like this. And look, and I told you the Lakers want to get rid of Westbrook. Some of y'all was like, I don't know. Some of y'all maybe you're just Westbrook fans, but I was like, they want to get rid of him. They've been wanting to get rid of him for 6 months. Since the last trade deadline, they were trying to get rid of Westbrook. So, because LeBron has decided this guy ain't working. This ain't working. LeBron has to win rings like every year. He can't waste time waiting for people to develop. He needs somebody to help win a ring now. Okay, so with that in mind, he's looking. Can I get Kyrie? Oh, cool. I can't get Kyrie. I can't get KD. Who else can I get? And don't matter. He's trying to get talent. Okay, so right now, and LeBron, 21, thanks for the $2 super chat. Media is desperate, always being wrong about Leon. That's right. But right now, LeBron's got to get as much talent as he can. Now, LeBron is really the point guard. I mean, any team he comes on, he's the point guard. He can play the 4, he can play the 3, he can play the 2, but he handles the rock. Okay, anybody that's with LeBron knows that. If you're a point guard and you need to handle the rock, you're going to be playing off the ball because LeBron is going to have the ball in his hand. So what does a guy like that need? A locomotive type dude that's like a steamroller, that's strong, that can handle the rock, that can read plays, that can memorize your whole offensive scheme. What does he need? He needs shooters. He needs shooters. Russell Westbrook is not a shooter. Well, who has shooters? Bogdanovich is a shooter on Utah. And guess what? Fournier is a shooter on the Knicks. That's right. He needs floor spacers. Exactly. So he's got two guys out there, and they're already now that he's committed to 2 years, they committed to saying, okay, we'll trade the 27 and 29 picks if you commit to us. Okay, so now everything is in play. So now the Knicks don't need Los Angeles to get this Westbrook trade done. I mean, to get the Mitchell trade done. They don't need Los Angeles, but Los Angeles needs the Knicks to get off a Westbrook contract. So I can see now they're going to try to convince Ainge. Now they'll throw the 2 picks at Ainge, and the Knicks will throw maybe 2 or 3 at Ainge. You know, honestly, we talked about this Sunday. Somebody brought up a good point. We were going through the different teams that could make a deal for Julius Randle. Remember that? We were going through different teams, and we came up with 3 teams. There was Charlotte, there was Phoenix, and I can't remember the other team, but there was Charlotte and Phoenix that wanted a power forward, needed a power forward, and could make a deal for one. I would not be surprised. You get Charlotte involved with this. You send Randall to Charlotte. Charlotte can send expiring deals. They can send Oubre to us. They can send, I think it's a young center. I forgot his name. They can send him to Utah. They can send a pick to Utah. We can send 2 picks to Utah. Danny Ainge, if he plays his cards right, he could end up with a young piece from us. He could end up with 5 unprotected number ones, everybody contributing a little bit. He can end up with a couple of protected number ones, and he can end up with like 50-something million of expiring money if he plays his cards right. If he gets greedy, the Don said by Monday, I'm walking. Thanks 20 million at Utah, LA Lakers now need New York to meet that. Exactly. And you know why? We need to give this man his props. The Don set the chessboard up starting 2 years ago. See, people ain't catch up. It was 2 years ago when he flipped Ed Davis for 2 second-round picks in a weekend. I said, wait. We got something here. Okay? He flipped old behind Ed Davis for 2 second-round picks in 1 weekend. I'm telling y'all, man. This cat is something else. And then he got Brock Aller working the numbers for him on the cap. See, so now RJ's off the table. So we know now we can safely say RJ is off the table. Can we agree? RJ's off the table. He ain't going nowhere. Okay, he ain't going nowhere. So now you got RJ off the table. You got Jalen Brunson, Mitchell Robinson, and RJ Barrett. Those are your definite starters right now. What's going to happen next? I don't know. But you got your definite starters and those 3 guys right now. I don't even know. I can't tell you for sure that Randall's going to be on the team or not. Yeah, it's incentive based. He's got to make 3 all-star appearances, 3 all-NBA teams to realize 120 million. He's not going to do that. It's hard for anybody to do, even established players. He's probably closer to 110. You know, and I told you that's what we're dealing with. Something between 110 and 120, 100 and 120. And that's what we got. Yeah. So, Tavares, I'm agreeing with that. I think Phoenix and Charlotte are the 2 teams that might want to get in on this thing, and we can make a move that sends Randall to either Phoenix or Charlotte, and somebody can kick up another. See, why the Knicks would do that is because we could get somebody to kick up another number 1 that we could send to Ainge, right? So if we end up sending Ainge 3. We can get LA to send him 1. We can get somebody like Phoenix or Charlotte to send him 1. Now he got 5 unprotected number 1s. You see what I'm saying? So the Don ain't playing this game for taking shorts. He's understanding if he can get some other people to come in here, we can make this sweeter and tell Ainge, listen, you get 5 unprotected. We'll kick in 2 protected. You know, we're giving you 3. And so if you want this, take it. You know, we're gonna kick you a young player, a Grimes, a IQ. We're gonna kick you a young player, and you're gonna end up with 50. You're gonna take Russell's contract. You're gonna take somebody's expiring deal, and you're gonna end up with 55 million in cat space. You're gonna end up with a young player, and you're gonna end up with 5 unprotected picks. You want that? Take it or leave it. See, the Don can put something together now. He can with Brock Aller and them. They can put something together. Okay, so but RJ's off the table. Forget RJ. And see, it's not just that we didn't know RJ was going to be off the table, because we did. Somebody was asking me yesterday what you would do if RJ was. I said, listen, I don't even want to waste brain power talking about RJ being traded. Whoever it was, I said that. I said I don't even want to waste brain power talking about RJ being traded because that's not something I even want to think about because it's not even gonna happen. That's like a waste of brain space. Let's not do that because he ain't going nowhere. Okay. 21. If the Spider deal dies, we are in the next draft with as big spend. That's right. All those draft picks can get us in. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. You hear what he said? Thanks for the $5.21. That's exactly right. So in other words, if we don't get Mitchell right now, imagine what it's going to look like next spring. Imagine what it's going to look like next spring. Next spring, we have all the draft picks. We got young capital. You want Wembanyama, whatever his name is? I don't. But I'm saying if you want it, we in a position to do some business. Okay? Brethren, we in no problem, Jay Sniper, no problem. But we in a position to do business. I told y'all, we're in really good hands right now. See, what we really should all be hoping for is that Leon Rose, Brock Aller, Walt Perrin, and Scott Perry. Not so much Scott Perry. I like Scott Perry, but we could even do better. But I'm just saying, you better be hoping that management team stays together. You want the Knicks to be successful long term? And listen, y'all better give props to James Dolan because he allowed Leon to do his thing and he has not interfered. He's been hands off for at least the last 3 years. Some people out here still talking about Dolan need to catch up to the business, man. Because he ain't been messing with y'all. He been hands off for like 3 years. He been strumming his guitar and wearing his Ranger jersey. You know what I'm saying? So he's just backing up. You know what I mean? But the gauntlet has been set. The Don has put down the gauntlet. You either get a deal done by Monday or we go into the season. And let me tell you something. If the Knicks go into the season with RJ taking the next step, if RJ becomes a daggone all-star and the Knicks start off strong, forget Donovan Mitchell. Forget it. The price has just dropped. The price has just dropped. You understand? The price has just dropped. You understand? So let Ainge mess around. That's why why you think he's in such a hurry to get this done before training camp? When everybody's like, Danny will wait. Danny's been in this situation before. Danny will wait until the trade deadline. I was like, especially there was somebody's crew that was still on his nutsack from Boston. I was like, what? What's wrong? And a desperate team like the Knicks. I'm just like, oh my gosh, man. Oh my gosh, man. You heard that? You heard that, right? I was like, what? What? Oh, man. Oh, my gosh, man. So, yes, Ainge is desperate to get this done. He don't want everybody asking him a million questions about the Knicks all season. He don't want that. He's trying to rebuild. And instead of trying to play the game like Jack the Ripper, he need to come correct. He need to come correct. And the Don done told him Monday or walk. I love that. To me, that's the best part of this whole thing. To me, the Don done said it's either by Monday or you walk. And let me tell you something. The Knicks can deal with other people. We ain't got to deal with him. Shoot. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to deal with you. What you think? We could take or leave Mitchell. We could take him or leave him. Seriously. Yeah, give that man his respect, man. You understand? So this is where we at right now. My hope is the only player that I really don't want the Knicks to move is Obi. I don't want the Knicks to move Obi, man. Now, my favorite Knicks are Deuce McBride and Mitchell Robinson, but I love Obi Toppin too. And I just think, I see greatness in Obi. I see an all-star. Y'all, some of y'all laughed at me when I said RJ's the second coming of Jimmy Butler. Some of y'all still laughing. And I told you that's what he's going to be. Obi got all-star talent. I'm telling you right now. Obi Toppin got all-star talent. I do not want to lose Obi Toppin. I can understand the Ripper asking for him. You can ask for whatever you want. You could ask for RJ, but obviously that's not happening. But you know how I say RJ is a better version of Jimmy Butler. Obi's going to be a better version of Stat. He's going to be a better version of Amari Stoudemire. Yeah, he's going to be a better version of Stat. And Stat was daggone good. Okay, that's how much I got. That's how much faith I got in Obi Toppin. So I want to keep Obi. If you got to trade Grimes, and I love Grimes. I was pulling for Grimes to get drafted. Y'all know I was pulling for Grimes and Deuce to get drafted. I was pulling. Some of y'all was like, "Who is this Grimes?" I said, "Look at him, man. I like this kid." And so the Knicks did too, and they took him. But I'd rather let Grimes walk. And wait. Y'all remember this other stupidness that was out here 2 weeks ago? Let's spank all the media right now. What about all this? The Knicks would rather have Grimes than RJ. The Knicks would rather trade RJ than Grimes. Y'all remember that craziness? How that sound now? How that sound now, y'all? How that sound now? Huh? Talk to me. How that sound? The Knicks would rather trade RJ than Grimes. How that sound? Come on. So as much as I love Quentin Grimes, I don't want to let go of Obi Toppin. I want to keep Obi. I want to keep Obi. But that just goes to show how much stupidity and idiocy comes over some of these platforms. Just that's what I'm saying. There's some things I refuse to repeat as if it's facts because it just sounds so stupid. Like the whole thing about trading RJ, I was like, trading RJ, and you remember we put a video out. I said RJ Barrett for DM, HE double hockey sticks. Didn't I say that? I said, no, that's not going to happen. No. So you right, Craig. Me too. But I can't deny that the Knicks are very interested in Donovan Mitchell. We can't deny that. So the Knicks are very interested in Donovan Mitchell. And I can't deny that Donovan Mitchell is a really, really good player. I can't deny that either. I would love for them to walk away. I'm sitting here saying, I dare Ainge, don't get a deal done by Monday and see what happens. Because the Don had already told you, I'm walking Monday. You better get it done by Monday. Make up your mind, I'm walking. You know? And so if he wants to play around, we'll go into camp with all of our kids. I still think the Knicks are going to pull a trade to move Evan Fournier. If he's not going to Utah, he's going to LA. Evan Fournier's out of here. Some of y'all be like, Evan's going to start this year. Y'all need to get off that strong crack. Grimes is ready to take over now. He's ready to take over now. Okay? In his second year. Grimes is a better all-round player than Evan Fournier. He plays defense better. And his jumper is not quite on Fournier's level yet, but believe me, it's coming. That J is coming. That J is coming, y'all. Media like weather reports making it up. That's right, 2189. So, and one thing Mark Berman said about 2 weeks ago in one of his articles, which I feel is true, he said that Grimes is amenable to going to Utah because he feels like he would get a chance to start. Whereas if Mitchell comes to the Knicks, he will not get a chance to start. Right. And Grimes is ready to start. I'm telling you, in his second year, he's ready to start. Okay. I saw it. We all saw it, the neophyte year he had, but there was enough sign there and the work ethic is there. He's going to be a really good player. And so, I think Berman is right here. I think Grimes will be the guy that'll go to Utah. And and I love Deuce, so I hope they don't include Deuce in this, but I'm thinking that's a filler, he's the only filler they really got, is Deuce. And so the only good news about that is that you still have Cam and you still have IQ and you still have Obi, and so that would make me feel good. As much as I love Deuce, and I don't want Deuce to go, I'd rather IQ go because I favor Deuce. I just like Deuce, right? So if they included IQ in the deal, you wouldn't hear me crying about it. But I'm saying realistically, They're going to send Grimes over there. And so no, Deuce would get plenty of time. It's between Deuce and IQ. Only one of them are going to play. And so if you're going to send IQ to Utah, Deuce is going to get minutes. If you don't send IQ to Utah, Deuce is going to Utah. And Deuce will play in Utah. He'll play out there. Okay. He'll get plenty of time to play out there. But because they rebuilt it. Yeah. So he'll get time to play. I wanted on the Knicks, though. I liked him in West Virginia. Loved this kid's game. I wanted the Knicks to draft him. I still think he hasn't gotten a full shot yet. He just showed what he could do in the G League, which dominated what he did. Yeah. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. And Rivera 4396. Thank you all for your commentary. Look forward to hearing you take every morning. Whether I agree or not, that's blessing, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Also love the Thibodeau picture you put up there. That's nice. But yeah. I'm on Deuce high, but I ain't foolish enough to say they shouldn't include him in this deal. The money works with Grimes and Deuce and Fournier. The problem is the Lakers are going to want Fournier. That's the problem. Danny Ainge don't want Fournier. Fournier, you need him to make the money work. But the Lakers are going to want Fournier. That's why I can see Fournier, Bogdanovich going to the Lakers with Westbrook going to Utah. Okay, Westbrook going to Utah. The Knicks sending Fournier to LA, sending the two young kids to Utah. Hopefully it'll be Grimes and I don't care if it's IQ, but Grimes and IQ, and then you have Deuce still. But we'll see what happens. But LA is going to want the two pieces. LA will want is Fournier and Bogdanovich. Those are two high-level floor spaces. Especially with a guy like LeBron that knows how to create space on the floor. Fournier would look like an all-star with LeBron because, he's a great open, spot-up shooter. Fournier's a great spot-up shooter. Can't play defense to save his life, but he can play the passing lanes and he's a great spot-up shooter. And my man LeBron will know how to utilize that to the utmost, So yeah, there's that. So I can see other Lakers wanting Fournier and Bogdanovich, but the Utah's gonna have to be willing to take back Westbrook. And if in order to do that, Danny's gonna want some picks, which he should get. So this is interesting, man. So I can see the Knicks ending up with Mitchell. I really don't want them to give up more than 2 number ones. Honestly, I would say 2 protectors and 2 unprotectors, especially if you get in LA involved, because now LA's going to send you their 2 unprotectors and you're going to end up with 4. So go ahead with that. You know what I mean? End up with 4 and then 2 protected picks, total of 6. Go ahead with that. I would tell them, take a walk with that, son. Go. Plus, it's a known fact. Mitchell wants to come to New York. So don't mess this up, Ainge. Don't mess it up, sir. Ainge, if you're listening, get off your high horse, man. Come down off the roof, bruh. Ain't nobody going for the okie doke. The Don ain't playing with you. He's not getting freaky with you today. It's not happening. Understand that. Understand that. Marion Davis, Obi reminds me of biggest Sean Marion. Yes, I do. I think the Sean Marion, Obi Toppin, and Mari Stoudemire comparisons are valid. All of them. Although I really believe Obi's going to be better than both of them. I think Obi has the talent to be better than both of them. I really do. Because I think people are sleeping on Obi's jumper. They're sleeping on it. But he moves off the ball like Sean Marion. He moves off the ball like Sean Marion. He finishes like Amari. Right? He finishes like Amari. Okay? And he got a jump shot. People sleeping on his J. Okay. Marion that was Marion's calling card. He was a lockdown defender. And I think Obi could be awesome. Obi gonna be there. Marion was a tremendous defender. He couldn't shoot though. He couldn't shoot, but he was a tremendous defender. Okay, Social Oddity. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Poison pill. A poison pill is where a player signs a contract. Let's take Jeremy Lin because he did it. So Jeremy Lin did. Let's take the Jeremy Lin example because y'all in New York, we all in New York Knicks, we know Jeremy Lin. So the offseason after Linsanity, Jeremy Lin signed a contract. The Knicks were trying to negotiate a contract with him, but he signed a contract that had in it a trade clause that would have to give him more money. It was a $25 million deal. The Knicks were not comfortable with that. They didn't want to match that. It would mess their salary structure up. So that was called a poison pill because it put the Knicks in a position where they couldn't get it. Okay, so a poison pill is a situation where a player, it could be a 15% trade kicker. For example, let's take another Knick, former Knick, Tim Hardaway Jr. He signed a $72 million deal with the Knicks that included a 15% trade kicker. Now, what happened was the Atlanta Hawks is where he was playing. They were planning on signing him to $60 million that year. But first it was 72. That blew Atlanta's cap. And then the 15% trade kicker they didn't want no part of, it was over. They couldn't do it. So that's what a poison pill does. It causes the competition to be no competition. You see what I'm saying? It causes the competition to be no competition. So that's what it does. Okay. Sometimes it doesn't work. Like Julius got a 15% trade kicker. That ain't gonna stop him from being traded though. Okay, because his trade kicker was from an old contract. Now his contract is not even like a top tier contract anymore. Okay, I think you probably Julius Randle probably not even in the top 50 being paid plays in the NBA. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So that's a poison pill. It's a contract that's structured so that the player is going to leave. Like in order to match it, you're going to hurt yourself. You're going to hurt yourself to match it. That's what it is. That's right. That's right. Frostfire got it. That's exactly right. Frostfire. Thank you for that. He said poison pill in contract terms means that a clause or something in the contract triggers an event that happens, trade, corporate, to make the aforementioned action untenable. That's exactly right. Thank you, Frostfire. That was very well put together. Thank you. Did you get that from a dictionary? You just came off the top of your head with that. That was good. So yes, so it's something in the contract so that anybody coming at that can't do it because they can't. It's going to hurt them to do it. It's going to hurt them to do it. See, so that's a poison pill. Players like to do it to protect themselves. And in an offer, it's usually done in an offer sheet situation where you're signing an offer sheet. That's how, for example, Otto Porter got out of Washington. He signed an offer sheet that was $100 million. And it was and his team could not, Washington didn't want to match that. So he ended up taking the $100 million. I mean, no, I'm sorry. No, that was wrong. He signed an offer sheet with the Nets, and his team had to match it to keep him, or the Nets were going to take him. That's what happened. And Washington matched it. That's right. Excuse me. It was a $100 million offer sheet with the Nets. So the Nets was forcing Washington to go out of their comfort zone to re-sign Otto Porter. That's what happened. And instead of going to the Nets, he ended up staying in Washington. Of course, Washington later traded him to the Bulls. Okay. And that's the thing with a rising salary cap. $100 million contract 1 year may not be as worth as much another year. Okay. And that's why, like in 2 or 3 years, the $100 million we just signed Jalen Brunson for is going to be nothing. The Randle contract is going to be nothing. When they sign the new TV deal in 2 years, that's going to be nothing. You're going to be seeing $250, $300 million contract. In baseball, you're already seeing $300 and $400 million contracts. Y'all notice that? You're seeing $300 and $400 million contracts in baseball because they make more money. Okay, they make more money. So when the TV contract kicks in for the NBA, the next one, you're gonna be seeing bigger deals. So all of the $100 million right now don't mean as much. Okay, they only mean something today for today's cap, but for the future they don't mean as much. Yeah. So yeah. But you're talking about 300. So in the NBA, it's 200, 250, right? I don't think we got a guy that making 300 yet. You're going to get that guy, though, in the next couple of seasons. One of these guys that got drafted in the last 2 years, one of these kids, I don't know which one, but somebody's going to be worth $300 million. You're going to see, you might see Luka sign a $400 million deal. It's going to be something like that. But as the money goes up from the revenues, the TV revenues, that's how they get more money. Yeah, somebody like that. See, that's what I'm saying. Some of these young kids are going to get that money. But right now, it's 200 million. Somebody get 200 million. Everybody's like, oh, 250. That's big. That is big money, no joke now, but it's going to get bigger. So $100 million contract ain't going to be as big in 2 years as it is today. That's what I'm saying. Julius's contract can be moved. All right. Everybody knows that. Okay. So anyway, I just wanted to let y'all loose on that. I got to get back to work. But look, the Don done laid down the gauntlet. It's going to be done Labor Day weekend. It's going to be done over Labor Day weekend. I told y'all. Mitchell will probably be coming to the Knicks, but RJ ain't going to be involved. I think it's going to be Grimes and either Deuce or IQ. I hope it's not over. The Lakers want a piece of this because they want Evan Fournier. This is going to be interesting. Randall might get moved. Phoenix or Charlotte. Let's see what happens. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting week for y'all. This is Tuesday, August the 30th. So by Tuesday, September the 6th, we're going to see something. Okay, we're going to see something. The Don had already said, Monday or we walk. So I dare you not to take his deal. I dare you. I double dare you. Because we could go into camp with our kids. We have no problem. We could deal with the Lakers. We have no problem. Okay, we're going to be good. I told y'all, we're going to be good. No problem. You want to mess with us? You can deal with us. If not, we walk. We good. Y'all have a good Tuesday. Thank you for joining us this morning. Thank all of y'all for your faithfulness here as far as the help in terms of the money y'all sent. What do you call it? The super chat. Thank you all for that. Thank you for being here and sharing the morning with us. Blessings to you. Be safe out there. We'll be back again for sure because something is coming. Something is coming. All right. Something is coming. Sure. From PR. All right, Angel.